Good morning. How are you? I hope you all are fine. Let me thank God for this wonderful opportunity to address you all through this video. Let me ask, who would you consult at a challenging moment? Imagine you are in a trouble. Whose face would you remember first? Your partner, your parents, your children, or your friends? Few years before, I was discussing about the parable of the prodigal son with one of my friends. He said that he would not go back to his father. Instead of going back to the father, he would go back to his peer group. This is the tendency among many believers. This is one of the greatest disasters I consider among the believing community. Consider, for example, the people of Israel. God had great dreams for them. He chose them to be His treasured possession. He liberated them from slavery and led them out of Egypt. He parted the Red Sea for them to cross on dry land, fed them with manna from the sky, provided water from a rock, guided them with a fire by night, and sheltered them with a cloud by day. But when Moses sent the 12 spies, one from each tribe, most of them forget the miraculous guiding of God from Egypt through the Red Sea. They came with a conflicting report. 10 of them were crippled by fear. They failed to see God among them and said they didn't dare to take the land. They wanted to quit. It was as if they were saying, "Oh, this is not what we were expecting. We should have never left Egypt in the first place. We should go back." A little opposition and they were ready to quit. While 10 spies gave an evil report, the other 2 spies, Caleb and Joshua, instead saw God's action among the people of Israel in history and gave a faith-filled report. They remembered God's miraculous guiding and suggested that we should go up and take possession of the land. They said, "If the Lord is pleased with us, He will lead us into that land and give it to us." Do you know whom did the people of Israel believe? Joshua and Caleb or the 10 spies? Bible remarks that the people of Israel, all of them, believed the 10 spies who did not trust God rather than Joshua and Caleb. The Bible narrates that the entire generation who failed to trust God spent the rest of their lives wandering in the desert and finally died in the desert, while Joshua and Caleb, who trusted God, set foot on the promised land. This is the greatest lesson we should remember in mind. God is omnipotent and He has a plan for you. Consider, for example, Hagar, the maidservant of Abraham. Her name indicates that she was a sojourner, not connected to Abraham's family. She had to bear a son for Abraham. However, because of some family strife, Hagar was sent out from Abraham's house one morning. Abraham gave her some food and a skin of water. She went on her way and wandered in the desert of Beersheba. I think Hagar was conscious of her limited supply. She knew that she could not survive much. I imagine that she might have tried to provide her son from the little provision. At last, when the food and the water and the skin are gone, she put the boy under one of the bushes and went off and sat down, thinking that I cannot watch the boy die. Hagar was conscious of her loneliness, her lack of food, and the child's difficult situation. At that moment, dear friends, though she was not conscious of God's presence, God intervenes. God opened the eyes of Hagar. Dear friends, we all may pass through some moments of trial. Many people might say that it's never been done. It's never been done that way before. You don't have the talent. You don't have the money. You are not smart enough. That will never work, and so on. In such troubling moments, please follow Joshua and Caleb. Remember God's saving presence in the midst and trust God. Your worries may be bigger than you, may be bigger than Everest. But please remember that God is bigger than the biggest worries. May God open your eyes like Hagar. God bless.